Greetings and welcome to this edition of
Positronic Hypersonic.
I'm Barry P. Cook, and I'm here to talk about episode 2 of the second season of Stargirl, entitled Summer School, Chapter 2. So it starts off with Shiv's adoptive mother, foster mother, whatever it is, I guess it's her adoptive mother or stepmother, is trashing her kitchen for some reason. And then Shiv shows up and puts the whammy on her. We then flash to 6 days earlier, and we see Jenny getting basically kicked out of the group home that she grew up in. And she's given a box of trinkets that I guess the home had been holding for her until she came of age or whatever. And so she opens it up, she finds a couple of things in there, one of which is a Hot Wheels car, it looks like, that belonged to her brother, who I guess she hasn't seen in a while. She didn't grow up with him, or they got separated or whatever. And her dad's ring. And when she touches it, it glows and it goes, all crazy. And it actually chooses her to be the next bearer of it. And it was pretty cool. We then flash back to the present, and she's standing in Courtney's kitchen, and she explains how she was drawn there by the ring. And she's pretty wowed to meet Pat. She recognizes him, and she recognizes the staff, I guess from stories her dad would tell her. And she asks Pat to be, taught how to use the ring. Courtney is pretty much immediately suspicious of Jenny, but Pat reminds her that, she excels at helping people and at giving underdogs a chance, and suggests that she does so with Jenny. Pat then does take Jenny to see about the battery for the ring and to try to teach her how to use the ring. The battery won't let Pat open it. Jenny tries to use her will with the ring, and she ends up making a small virtual car. So it was pretty cool. The next thing we see is Richard Swift, aka the Shade, a character from DC who is a dabbler in the mystic arts, visits Barbara, which is of course Courtney's mother, about magic items belonging to William Zarig, aka the Wizard. Obviously, he's trying to get his hands on them. Courtney confronts Jenny in front of the whole team, and so she leaves. Pat again gives her a talking to, reminds her of how she started her journey, and she realizes that she needs to make good with Jenny, which she does. She explains how, I'm actually not the daughter of a superhero, but I thought I was. You actually are. You're the real deal. You have everything I don't. And it actually ends up making Jenny feel badly, because she's like, I don't have everything. I don't have my parents. I grew up in a group home. I can't locate my brother. And she gets all upset, and she ends up whacking the lantern, and it starts to go off, like glowing and making noise and stuff. Elsewhere, Pat, who had left Courtney to make good with Jenny, confronts the Shade after Barbara called him and explained that she'd been approached by him. But before anything can happen, he realizes that the kids are running through town with the lantern battery, and he goes to see what's up. And of course, they're kind of freaking out because the lantern's freaking out, and they were just trying to get to a place where there weren't any people around, so they head to the park. And it turns out that Jenny has to try to absorb the energy from it in order to contain it, which she realizes is the case because Courtney says, you're tied to the ring, maybe you're tied to the battery, you should try to absorb the energy. So she starts to do that, but she's worried about the rest of the team and Pat, and she urges them to go, but Courtney says, no, we're here with you, I'm not going anywhere, you can do this, which was pretty cool. Unfortunately, the lantern goes off big time and blasts everyone back, leaving a huge crater in the ground. And it actually levitates Jenny, or Jenny is able to levitate after that, surrounded by green energy. So she remarks on how it's cool because now she can fly, and it was just a very cool moment. The next day, we find that Jenny has left Courtney's house where she'd been staying and heads for parts unknown. Courtney has a talk with Pat and vows to put her normal life first until there's some kind of trouble that needs to be dealt with by Stargirl and the other kids. And Pat says, well, it's funny you say that because this guy, the Shade, is in town and he's bad news. And so she rushes to get the staff and go into action. We flash back over to Shiv and her mom, and they're having a fight. And Shiv basically ends up evaporating her mother as she's talking to, I guess, her dad or something in spirit form that's trying to, I don't know, influence her behavior and get her to do evil things. Wasn't really clear to me, but anyway, that was the episode, and I thought this episode was much better than the first episode. I found the first episode kind of lame. This had some actual substance to it. It moved the ball forward, I think. It gave us the details on, Jenny. We now know that she's connected to the ring because she has her father's DNA, and that she's able to influence the ring with her emotions, just like her dad. And we find out that she's on a quest to find her brother, and we get to see her using the ring, and it was very cool. So I thought this was a good episode, and it had some good character stuff with Pat and Courtney and her, having to learn to sort of be her best self as opposed to giving in to her insecurities. So I thought it was pretty cool. I'm looking forward to the next episode and to see what's going on with this villain and to find out who or what the entity is that's been sort of stalking the woods and messing up stores and stealing food and stuff. So that's all in the offing, and we'll get to talk about it as those episodes air. For now, I'm going to get out of here. And as always, my friends, I say peace and long life.